Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that continually wrote very well. And Shalom to the whole elect that's continually doing this work, giving all diligence to make your calling and election sure in all faith, true, and sincerity. Now, the topic of this video is going to be entitled, well, actually, I'm going to just title it as the mark, in quotation, of the beast, because the mark of the beast, as we here at Great Millstone, started with the apostles and elders on down, we push that the mark of the beast is the RFID microchip. All right, which it lines up with the scripture in Revelation chapter 13 verse 16 concerning the mark of the beast, because if you go and read the scripture on the mark of the beast, it tells you what comes with the mark of the beast. All right, now you have guys out there that these other Israelite camps saying the mark of the beast is this, is that, it's an embargo, it's Christianity, it's hey, you even got something that says the Antichrist, man. All right, but see, man, they let you know, man, they don't understand the scriptures. They just don't have it. They don't have the understanding of these parables, because the scriptures, the Bible, specifically the King James 1611 version. All right, not no New World Translation, or not a New King James version, none of those, man. All right, King James 1611 is the very first King James that was published. All right, the 1611 version, which is the closest translation to the original text, which is in the Hebrew, which is the Old Testament, and the Greek, which is the New Testament. All right, and then you have the Apocrypha, and these devils, which is the so-called white man, which is Esau, that's a true biblical nationality. See, the devils took the Apocrypha out of the Bible, or out of the original King James Bible. It was a reason for that, because the Apocrypha holds a lot of truth within those books. All right, about the end of the world, about how the northern tribes got here, about martial law, and among others, man. Then you know who your enemy is. But straying too far at the topic, this the scripture where it speaks about the mark of the beast, they don't have any understanding on it. So, and the reason why I have the mark in quotations is because you have to go, like I said before, the Bible was translated from another language into the English, so you have to go into the original language that it was written, and I'll find out what that word means. Now, that word mark, if you will go to it, and actually let me get the scripture on it before I go into the word. Now it says Revelation chapter 13 verse 16, and it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of man. All right, it's the number of man, and his number is 666. All right, now keep that in mind about 603 score and 6. Now keep that in mind, because I'm explain it a little bit later. But it says it's the number of man. All right, and because it says it's the number of man, in other words, it's up close and personal, man. is dealing with the flesh. All right, that's why it says it's the number of man, 603 score and 6. It also explains that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. So in order to make purchases and operate in your daily life, you need to have this mark, which is the RFID microchip. Now, the point is in verse 16 where it speaks about that word, the word mark, because you got other words in the Bible. Well, actually, you have the word mark in other books of the Bible, but and I give you an example, like Ezekiel 9 and 4. All right, I'm gonna get that in a little bit. Actually, let me get it right now before I read the definition. Let's go back. All right, Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, and Yahweh, Baal Shem Yahushai, said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Now, is this talking about the same mark in Revelation 13 and 16? No, it's not. All right. Because this is the reason why. So why would the Lord say to set a mark on the men that sigh and cry, right? And then afterwards have the judgment written about taking the mark of the beast. All right, it's not the same mark. That's a different mark. All right. Now this Revelation 14 verse 9, it said, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast in his image and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. All right, see, that doesn't make sense. All right, if you equate that mark in Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4 with the same mark in Revelation, man, that's why you have to go into words. That's why we get on these guys, especially these so-called Christians, about the scriptures, because they hang their hats on John 3:16, where it says, for the Most High so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, which they don't understand what that means. All right. Actually, through the Spirit, I'm gonna do a quick video on that, man, about John 3:16 to really break that down. All right. But going back to Ezekiel chapter 9 verse 4, I want to get that word mark, and I'm gonna show you what it means. And then I'm gonna go back to Revelation 13:16 and get the word for mark once again. So this is 9. All right, now let's get the word for mark. It should be it says Thar, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or Thawa. All right, it means mark as a sign of exemption from judgment. All right, it says it's a sign of exemption from judgment. Now that's a different mark than Revelation 13 verse 16, man. Because really, if you go deep into it, that mark of exemption is his knowledge. The mark of exemption is the truth, the 100% truth in Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai. All right, that's that mark of exemption. Because what comes with the knowledge and the truth of Yahweh Baal Shem Yahushai? Knowing the name, knowing your nationality, knowing the Lord's will. All right, and everything else that follows with the knowledge. All right, and the wisdom and the understanding. Because scripture where it says, "Get wisdom," and it said, "With all thy getting, get understanding." All right, now let's go back to Revelations chapter 13, verse 16. All right, I'm gonna read it once again. It says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond. All right, which that's everybody, man. Everybody on the face of the planet Earth has got to take this mark, man. All right, saying he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right. Now I'm gonna get that word mark here in Revelation 13, verse 16. And that word here is charagma. All right. Now, if you go into that word charagma, right, and what they have here in the blue letter, it says a stamp or imprinted mark, right? It says of the mark stamped on the forehead or the right hand as the badge of the followers of the Antichrist. See, and there it is, man. That's why I was talking about earlier about these guys that say the mark of the beast is the Antichrist. All right. Right here it says it's the followers of the Antichrist, which the scriptures don't even say that there's one Antichrist. All right. It's not one, man. It's many Antichrists. All right. It's not just one. It's not just one anti-type. You know, the Apostle Elders. You know, I forgot who's the guy that who did that, man. Who said that the anti-type. You know, it's not one anti-type, man. It's many anti-types. All right. That is two. It said the mark branded upon horses, thing carved, sculpture, graven work, or idolatrous images. See, they're going way the hell off. And I'll show you what this word really means, man, because it's giving you different definitions on that word mark, which is charagma. All right. Now, it says charax, which is where you get the word charagma from, right? Which is the root word of the charagma. Now it says root word etymology from charasso, to sharpen to a point, akin to G 1125 through the idea of scratching. All right. Now pay attention. It says to sharpen to a point. All right. Now let's actually let's see. Let's go back. Now let's use your head for a second. All right. Now it says as the root etymology, right, of that word charax, it says to sharpen to a point, right? So tell me this: how is this tiny little microchip is going to get in the hand of people? They got to use a needle. All right, they got to use a needle to insert that chip within your hand. All right, or anywhere in the body, man. All right, because it doesn't matter where you put it at. Because some people say, oh, if I take it in my left hand, then that means you know, that doesn't apply to me. Well, yeah, it does apply to you. All right, why is that? Because the scripture in Revelation 14 says, if any man worship the beast, right? Because if you receive that mark, then you're basically worshiping the beast. That's why it's called the mark of the beast. All right, because that mark, like we read it in the word charagma, right? That definition, it says a stamp or imprinted mark, and it means a brand on horses, and it says also the followers of the Antichrist, which we already explained that the Antichrist is not just one person, but it's many. All right. Okay. So that's how it's going to get in the hand. Now let's go back to this word charax, right? It says the definition. It says an outline of biblical usage: a pail or stake, a palisade. All right. Now a pail or a stake, that's something that you stick into the ground. All right, like a pail. You know how you stick a pail in the ground and you know, break the dirt up, stuff like that. And also a stake too, man. You know how you put down a tent? You know, you got to put stakes down, or the mark to mark your landmark, because they made stakes and they put it down to the ground to mark that landmark. Well, guess what? They marking you. All right, they're putting that mark, that stake, which is the RFID microchip, into you. All right, to mark you as their product, man. All right. Now that's it on that word Karax. Now let's go back to the word Charagma. I'm gonna show you something else. Because that, you ever heard the saying, there's a saying that goes, man, stake your claim. Alright? Now let's go back to this definition of the word Charagma, right? Now let's go to definition number 2. It says the mark branded upon horses. You know how you have your livestock, alright, your horses, your cattle. You know, to mark them as yours, you grab an iron and you heat it up, and you put you bend the iron to your insignia, right? Or you basically craft that piece of iron to your insignia, right? And then what you do is you take the iron and then you brand your cattle with that iron, that heated iron, all right, which makes it yours. And these elites, these bankers, starting with the Rothschilds, the Oppenheimers, the Gettysburgs, the DuPonts, all these banking families, they look at you common folk as cattle. All right, they have a term for cattle, which means goyim. All right, which means cattle or livestock. So these elites, these bankers only see you as a product, man. All right, and they want to make you a permanent slave. And I'm talking to you, you Israelites, man. You so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans. All right. But now I want to go back to Revelation 13, 16. See if I can get it real quick. Actually, I'm going to get the very last verse. It says, here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast. For it is the number of man, and his number is 666. All right. Now, let's see if it'll give me the correct definition for 666. Here we go. Chi Psi Stigma. All right. 600 is giving you the number. Now I'm curious. I want to see if it'll give me oh, it's like I found a little nugget. I'm gonna keep that in my back pocket. Able. All right, but that's not what it's talking about, man. Which G6. Let's go to G5 and see what it says. No, it's not giving it to me. But if you go into that last part of Chi Psi Stigma, which stigma, really that word stigma goes into, let's say for instance that you have a woman, right? You know, she's in the neighborhood, you know, she's doing this and that, but you know, she goes around messing around with other dudes, you know, and the neighborhood knows who she is, man. So if the neighborhood knows that she goes around and, you know, sleeps around with other dudes, man, that's a stigma onto her, man. She's the neighborhood slut, the neighborhood whore. That's a stigma that's put upon her, which is a mark. All right. So that word 666, which that last part is stigma, right? Once again, going back to the definition of charagma, that's something that's stuck on you, man. All right. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it on that, man. Just to bring out more edification of that word mark. And I show you the difference between that English word mark and different parts of the Bible. And once again, man, the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, it's not an embargo. All right, it's physical, man. It's up close and personal. It deals with the human body. That's why it says that number 603 scoring 6. That 6 is the number of man. All right. So, Lord willing, this was edifying to the body of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. And until next time, once again, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, and double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. They continually rule very well. They continually rules very well, should I say. That's still doing his work, man. Headstrong, man. It's still doing his work, man. It's double honors to them, man. And shalom, or peace and safety to the hopeful elect that's continually pushing this gospel, this word throughout the four corners of the earth. And with that, I'm gonna say shalom.